Let's talk about Eric Nietzsche. But first, let's close this down a little bit so that the whole cover fits in the page. I think this was a good way to set things up, showing the cover and then straight into your inside cover, first page, and then your spreads. Good job. Now, I wanted to just make a couple of points about Nietzsche. Was the apex of a modernist designer, okay? Therefore, I think it would make sense to design your booklet using the tenets of modernist design, specifically modernist typography. And I think this is really important because the concept will follow the form, which is, of course, one of the main goals in graphic design. So what do I mean by that? Okay, let's talk about page construction. As we know, modernism was very, 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 very much about page mechanics, page construction, the underlying grid of the page. So if you're not going to find solid grid work in modernism, you're just not going to find it. Modernism is all about the grid. So what do we have here? We have some good basic grid setup, but we've got some really super inconsistencies in your titles, in your headlines. Okay, intro. Okay, look at Eric Nietzsche and bio. Okay, those are fine. Those are fine. Same typeface and everything. I would bring bio down and align it with his last name so that your type will align on both pages. Otherwise, right now you have this shift that's creating, basically it's creating, this shift right here is making the I go this way, which is basically creating imbalance on the page. Okay, so what we need here is to get that aligned with that. And I'm going to draw another guide and align your type accordingly. Okay, these lines in your pages, I highly recommend you don't do that because basically what they're doing, this is just, it's fragmenting your page. There's not really any reason to have that there. Okay, I'm going to draw another guide here. You know how I am with my guides. Baseline grid, check it out. Baseline grid's off. Image is down a little bit, a couple pixels too, and this baseline grid is not quite matching up. Okay. Looks like you have, okay, that's an inch and a half. That's 17, 15 and a half. Good margins. Okay, some other things typographically. Bauhaus, 50s modernism. This is the only, and actually it doesn't, but this is the only headline that even closely, remotely resembles 50s, any kind of modernism, because they did not believe in serif typefaces, the modernists. Sans serif. Also, they did not use justified type. They used they used align left, right rag, always. As far as I know, and I'm brushed up pretty darn good on my histories. so that's a concern. I think the typeset itself is fine. It looks good, but it's the headlines themselves are just not. Okay, so instead of, okay, you got a 2-column grid. I think your gutter is really, really, really tiny. Now your grid is not, I don't think let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm having a little bit of trouble following your grid, and I do want to mention this, is that I think it is an enormous mistake to go away from this. I do. Well, let me explain 2 things to you. Number one, I think you made a big mistake. You really don't ever want to veer from your sketches. Once you have your sketches down, you can alter them, but don't ever change direction, because it's counterintuitive. It's like laying out a roadmap to get from here to Cincinnati and then throwing it away on the way out the door. Did you see what I'm saying? So So I think this grid is better. I think this is a solid grid. Everything in this sketch lined up. My only issue was the fact that your gutters were really, really super wide. That's an easy, easy fix, but it does not warrant a change in concept, okay? And the other reason I wanted to mention is that, now think about it like this, okay? Your art director says, okay, these are the sketches you gave me, okay, this is great. And made the comments, not unlike the comments I made, okay, this gutter's a little too wide, blah, 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 okay? And then you come back the next morning and we have this. And I go, whoa, wait a second. What happened to the grid you showed me? What happened to the drawings you showed me? And you say, the last two, you say, I ended up having to completely disregard my sketches, but that's okay because I like this one better. See, that's something that we don't do that in design. We don't design based on what we think looks better. We stick to a plan, and that is critical, Kelsey, critical. That's why we sketch. We sketch so that you have a plan, you have developed a solid conceptual and visual approach, and you're going to adhere to it through the fruition of the project. That's how we design. We don't stop and say, okay, this wasn't working, so I'm going to start over. Do you see what I'm saying? Let me give you another example. This one could even be more critical. Is that, let's say, okay, you talk to your client. You say to your client, okay, here's my sketches for your book. And I say, oh, this is great. My money is definitely well being spent for my new book, okay? So then I say to the designer, great job, awesome, can't wait to see it. Then Monday morning, you come to my office, or I go to your office to see my new mock-ups, and based on these sketches, and I go, whoa, wait a second, that doesn't look like what we talked about. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the only point I'm trying to make. You're free to go in whichever direction you feel is the most potential and is the strongest. I just want to make you aware of some of the repercussions of design studio work, okay, and how it would work in basically the critique stage of a basic design studio. Okay, let's talk typography. This typeface is different than your body copy, but you probably know that. Okay, we talked about alignment. Yes. Okay, we did not talk about demarcating new paragraphs. Now, you have an issue here. That problem is that you're not showing new paragraphs with an indent or a space between paragraphs. The problem there is that if you have a line of text that comes almost to the end of the margin, your viewer's not going to know where a new paragraph is. It's going to end up looking like a really long paragraph, and it's going to scare you like this. See how there's no breaks in here? That just doesn't look like an inviting paragraph. It looks too long with no place to rest. This one at least has the pull quote. This one has an image, but it's not really a place to rest. And the image doesn't work as well as something that's showing a lot of air as a resting space. Okay, so as I said, now inconsistency here. Look how tight your gutter is here. Look how loose your gutter is here. All right, this page looks good. Just want to check some alignment. And we can see that you are out of alignment. So again, this is pointing to the solid use of the grid, and once again, pointing to my comments about sticking with your original plan once you why not align these? I mean, boy, it's begging for alignment, and you're talking about modernism, so alignment is critical here. Okay, so again, yeah. So in summary, I think these color bars are, I think they're just destroying your pages. I really do. They're just fragmenting things horribly, not allowing the page to breathe and to become one within itself. As instead, it's becoming sectioned off. We've got sections. Okay, just see what I'm saying? This is a box, and then here's the record section, and here's the image section. Instead of saying, okay, let's get rid of this. Let's let this whole page breathe together. This is an inconsistency here. I mean, if these are going to be your advertisements, try to develop some sort of a hierarchy in type. What's going to be your headline? Stick with it. What's going to be your headline? Your subhead? Stick with it. And that also means the same kerning, the same leading, the same word spacing, the same letter, everything. Okay? So, I'm going on 10 minutes. Holy cow. Wow. So sorry about that. So I got to cut this short. Anyways, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much.